All right, guys, we are super honored to have our next guest as one of the first of the year. One of our favorites to talk to as he takes on Paulo Costa at UFC 298. Super exciting. Robert Whittaker, welcome back to Submission Radio. Happy 2024, man.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me once again.
Of course, dude. Thanks for having me. We love having you. You're always going to be a part of this show. All right, so you're over there in LA at the moment. I saw you're in Beneil Dariush's gym, King's MMA. Tell us a little bit about that, man. How's it been over there? We love Beneil. I see he's been very welcoming to you over there. At the gym.
He's a great guy. He was a great guy before. Obviously, he helped me out and gave me a place to train and everything. But since coming here to Anaheim, obviously the coaches and everything was speaking around, looking for someone to train. Spoke to Cordero. Cordero put us into. Actually, we had a guy, Fabricio, that put us in touch with Cordero, and then Cordero put us in touch with Beneil, and everything happened. And Beneil just opened his doors wide to us. Said, "Mate, train whenever you want. We'll move because he had classes as well, and he moved the classes onto one mat, squished all his members into one mat so that we could have like an open floor." And honestly, he went above and beyond to facilitate me and my team. And I cannot praise him enough for just looking after me like that. Because I haven't even met him in person. You know, it's just been our transactions have just been like through seeing each other on TV and now messaging each other. So yeah, honest to God, he's really facilitated and accommodated me and my team so well. So it's just made it all that easier being here.
I was going to say, he's such an awesome dude. He invited me and Casper to his house for a barbecue next time we're in Anaheim. And I just want to give that gym a quick shout out, man. So that's the Anaheim. Is that Anaheim Kings MMA, or where's that?
Yeah,
that's just for the people that want to check that gym out.
Yeah, that's Kings MMA Anaheim.
What I was gonna say, what is it like meeting and then like, you know, doing just a little bit of work with like Cordero as well? Because Javier Cordero is just like a legend in the sport. Like, you know, trained so many legendary fighters from back in the day, all the way in Pride days, the old shooter box and stuff like that. What was it like just also like stepping foot into a gym that has his presence there?
Honestly, I can't comment on that too much. So my coach has been speaking to him through those channels and avenues. I haven't actually met him yet. Oh, I've met him when I fought Gastelum.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I've met him. Hey. Yeah, I've met him in the industry, but I haven't met him personally. And King's Anaheim is obviously the Dariush's gym. So yeah, I can't comment too much, but you can just from what I experienced at the gym the other day. It's just the members were very welcoming. There's obviously a lot of respect. You know, there's an aura that comes with titles and, you know, and brands that have such legacy.
Yeah, of course, man. No, it's a great gym and everybody needs to check it out. By the way, man, like, first of all, a few congratulations are due. Obviously, Happy New Year. Obviously, congratulations on the new addition to the family as well. Super pumped for you, man, and the family. And by the way, a bit of a milestone that some people maybe haven't mentioned for you is last month is you now being in the UFC for 12 years. So congratulations on that, man. And for those that might not remember, your first kind of like official UFC fight was at welterweight against Brad Scott to win, you know, tough, a young 21-year-old Rob. Just want to go back, man, a little bit and ask you, what do you remember about that win, man? Like, it must have been it's a different world 12 years ago. So like UFC, that's a bit of a different thing as well. And at 21 years old, that must have been one of the most memorable nights for you professionally of your career.
Well, certainly. It was definitely one of the biggest moments of my career, but it was honestly like the changing point for my life, because that was the door opening for my entire career, and my career has really shaped how I live, you know, personally, physically, financially. It's just paved the way for how my life has turned out. And, you know, that was probably one of the single biggest moments of my entire career.
I was going to say, like, How do you think your goals have changed from like and your expectations from back then compared to now? It's been such a long road, so many things that you've accomplished. I wonder if you ever even have had the chance to look back on it and sort of like appreciate your work at all, and just as far as like your goals and like your sort of your goals for the sport back then.
If I was 21, I'd be like, I just want to buy a nice car, kind of nice holiday. Like I wouldn't be thinking about 12 years from now I'm going to still be one of the biggest names in the UFC. And
honestly, when I won the show, my biggest goals were just like, hey, I actually may be able to make a living out of this. Like it was still like I was just happy I didn't have to work whilst trying to pursue my MMA career. So yeah, obviously that took off pretty well. And but I don't know, like I've always had never had like the biggest of dreams. I've kind of always kept myself grounded. And so I definitely look back with my wife sometimes and think about like how far we've come. Because honestly, like just from a housing commission kid in Menai to to world champion, to where I am, to 5 kids, and God is great.
And not only that, man, but 12 years at the UFC and also being one of the best that whole time. That's a very rare thing. We all know people get into the UFC. That's one thing, but staying in the UFC, achieving some kind of success in the UFC, that's another. You've been the champion, but you're also one of the best. Did you think like when you were going into tough, like, hey, like I know you mentioned you didn't know whether or not you were going to make a living from it, but did you even think about, hey, this is going to be, the next basically decade plus of my life that I'll be fighting? Or was it kind of like, hey, let me just try this and see what happens here?
Oh, definitely not. It was one of those. It was really just about winning the next fight, like trying to stay in there, because it was terrifying. Everyone knows in the UFC it's easier to get in than to stay in, and like it was always about just winning that next fight, staying on that track, just so that I could keep doing this for a living. It was there was no. But the idea of winning the title was, a pipe dream, something I didn't even think about. The idea of staying in the UFC for 12 years it wasn't anything I even thought of really. It's to be able to have the legacy that I've had, to have been in the game for 12 years, to have had the success that I've had, if you would have told 21-year-old Rob all this, he would have called you crazy.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, man, and the ride is definitely not over yet. You've got Paulo Costa just right around the corner, dude. It feels like not that long ago, even though it was a while ago, that we were sort of laughing about, we were chatting about like the Paulo Costa fight when it was booked a while ago, and it was like nah, that fight's definitely going to happen, and then of course it didn't end up happening. What exactly went into you taking this fight again this time around?
Oh, they just offered it to me.
It was that easy. You're just like, no problems. Why not?
Yeah. And I was like, I asked for some guarantees. If he doesn't turn up, just because of his track record. But that was it. As soon as they said, "Do you want to fight Costa?" I was like, "Yeah, no worries. When do you want it?" And that was more or less it.
What were the guarantees? What was sort of put in place for it? Which is understandable, by the way.
Yeah, mainly that I will be getting paid on that date, which would entail them having a backup fighter, because obviously UFC are pretty strong on the point that no one who doesn't fight gets paid. Mm-hmm. So more or less just they've got a plan B, I assume. I don't know what that is, but I'm preparing for Paulo. Like the whole camp has been about driving towards, smashing him. And yeah, that's honestly, I haven't really even thought about it. People have asked, like, has he signed the contract? I don't care about the contract, mate. Like, I don't care about any of it. As soon as they said, "Do you want to fight Paulo?" I said yes, and I was switched on. Like, that's all there is to it.
I don't know if you saw this or not, but Paulo put out a post and someone started a petition to kill Paulo Costa if he pulls out of UFC 298. And he's like, I think he's getting a little control, I think. But Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw that, your reaction, if you did. And also, what is your reaction every time you go down the street? Everyone's like, is he pulling out? Is he not pulling out? What's happening with Paulo? Because that must be
You didn't make that petition, did you, Rob?
No. Well, that is
69, great. Apparently.
The internet is wild.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is. And
was that one of the guarantees in the contract that the UFC provided?
If he doesn't turn up, he's killed.
Executed on site.
No, yeah, the question has been a bit. It's ran its course at this point. But yeah, honestly, I know he'll be there. There's too much at stake. There's no really which way to go for him after pulling out against Chimaev and whatnot. So it makes perfect sense for both of us. We're both supposed to fight anyway. We're both high level, high ranked opponents. Let's just get in there and do it.
What do you make of Paulo overall, like as a fighter, as a challenge? He's obviously had some great performances. The one from Romero, which is, sort of going back a while. He's had the tough ones against Israel and Vittori. There was a Rockhold win as well. Like, what do you sort of make of, what he brings to the cage?
He's a tough, powerful dude. And he's a bully fighter. If you give him the space and you give him his way, he'll just bully you in there. And he thrives in that sort of situation. But, mate, I've fought plenty of bullies before. I'm going to take the fight to him. I'm going to bully him. I'm looking to get in there and hurt him. So, I don't think he'll be getting his way.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned he's a bully fighter because he definitely, I guess, in a lot of his fights, his success comes early on when he comes out and he sort of tries to go hard at the start. And we've seen it sort of work for him in the past, and then we've seen how it kind of works against him as well. So when you approach a fighter like that, I'm just wondering from your perspective, is it, hey, let's go, let me tackle this guy head to head and meet him right there and show him, hey, this isn't going to happen, like you're not going to get sort of any ground from the beginning? Or is it about letting him sort of wear himself out? Like we've seen him wear himself out quite a few times after the first round and then sort of take over after that.
Yeah, I think for myself anyway, it's more about me controlling the fight, taking the fight in the direction that I want it to go, like leading the dance, if you will. So that's more or less the game plan, is just to get out there and hurt him and just, I got 15 minutes to try and switch him off. And that's what I've been training for the entire camp. And, I expect having that mentality and having that fight style is going to really keep him off balance.
I think like the story is obviously like this fight against Paulo, but also for you, it's like coming off that Dricus fight as well. And I'm curious, like you look in phenomenal shape, but also what are some of the like other key differences that you've made and the changes like in this camp leading up to this one?
I've made like a lot of little tweaks to the camp, just taken some sessions away or just put them on the bench and then brought in other sessions. Trained the diet's kind of shifted a little bit, trying to come in a little heavier than I have been. So yeah, I don't know. I'm in a really good place. I feel really balanced right now. I feel like physically and mentally quite switched on for the violence that I want to ensue. So yeah.
The diet. I remember seeing you ahead of I can't remember which. I think it was maybe the first Israel fight, and you noticeably packed on some muscle. So I wonder, with the diet and coming in heavier, what's sort of the mentality behind that one? Is it just to be stronger, like more muscle? Like what's the thought there?
Or was it something from the last fight as well, where you felt like, hey, maybe I came in a little lighter than I needed to for this one?
Yeah, certainly it was kind of like a tidbit from last fight. It was I think last fight I underate a lot of the camp. I came in much too light. I brought the weight down too early, and I think I was depleting myself for too long, which caused me to lose muscle and just come in lighter. The energy levels just weren't great. So this camp I've focused on staying fueled a lot more, packing on some muscle, and I'm trying to hold it to the last minute and just do the last kind of shred in the last moments.
Well, I look forward to the Robert Whittaker cookbook because you're always in great shape, man. And you just had a kid and you went through the holiday season and we saw those photos of you, man, and you look like you're in better shape than ever. So congratulations and please share those secrets with us because I need to know how this is even possible. And of course, you know, you're not looking past Costa in any way. You mentioned how much of a big challenge he is, but are you excited about the fact that, hey, if this thing goes to plan and, you know, you're able to accomplish your mission in Anaheim, there's this potential of getting a second crack at DDP with him now being the champion, the belt being on the line, and a chance to redeem that, you know, last fight that I know you've mentioned a few times in the interviews. It felt like a little bit of an off night in a few ways for you.
Yeah, definitely. I want to run that back, obviously, and the fact that he's got the title and I can, you know, get two birds with one stone, that makes perfect sense. It sits really well in my head. But I'm not looking past Costa. My sole focus is just smashing him.
Yeah, man, 100%. We're excited about the smashing. Perfect opportunity to mention, though, speaking of smashing, if you're out there doing cold turkey, there's a way better way to smash your bad habits, man. We're talking about our good friends over at Fume, obviously our sponsor for the video, who look at the problem in a much different way. Not everything in a bad habit is wrong. So instead of the old drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from your habit? Fume's an innovative, award-winning flavored air device that does exactly that. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses all natural, delicious flavors. So instead of bad, Fume is actually good. It's a habit you're free to enjoy and it makes replacing your bad habits a lot easier. It fills the void in a natural, guilt-free way. And how good is this? Your Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial and it's designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, giving your fingers a lot to do, which is also helpful for de-stressing while breaking your habit. Stopping, look, it's all something that we all put off because it's hard, it's difficult, but switching to Fume is super easy, enjoyable, and even fun. Fume served over 150,000 customers and has thousands of success stories. There is no reason that can't be you. Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up the Journey Pack today. Head over to tryfume.com/submissionradio or scan the QR code and use code submissionradio to get 10% off when you get the Journey Pack. So that's tryfum.com and use code submissionradio to save an additional 10% off on your order today. Isn't that right, Dennis?
That's right, man. And speaking of smashing, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, fellas. What about that? Roses are red, violets are blue. Trim your bowls and your date will thank us too. Manscaped is the remedy for what the love doctor has ordered. His prescription, the all-new Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, designed to elevate your grooming game and shine like the heartthrob you are. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer, which is code word submission, get 20% off and free shipping. But just going back to this amazing package, of course, you got the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. It's the electric trimmer, which has skin-safe technology. It comes with the brightest LED spotlight yet. It's perfect for precise grooming, even in the trickiest spots, and it's waterproof. I just keep mine in the shower sometimes, and it makes shaving an absolute breeze. The package also features the Weed Whacker 2.0 nose hair trimmer, which is essential for older guys like me and Casper. Manscaped's liquid formulations, 2 free goodies, the Shed Travel Bag, which me and Casper use all the time when we cover all the events around the world, and the Boxers 2.0, which are super, super comfortable because comfort is king for all the Submission Radio listeners and supporters. And the big happy ending here is the Manscaped Refined Cologne. It's the Valentine's Day touch to your grooming routine. Elevate your grooming routine and set the stage for a romantically smooth celebration. So just a reminder out there to everybody, it's the code word submission, 20% off and free shipping. And if you already got yourself that, why not get the Beard Hedger Pro Kit? It's one of the best beard hedges that you could ever experience. I love mine. Absolutely easily fix up any issues with your facial hair quickly and easily thanks to that kit as well. That's 20% off with the code word submission and free shipping, Cass.
That's right. Tell your partner we're not going out for Valentine's Day dinner, right? Dessert is served. It's here. It's in bed. Yam bag, and snake sauce. Anyway, also Jon Jones is coming this Saturday. We are what is it? Thursday today. If you haven't got your tickets, hurry up. Jon Jones is coming this Saturday, the 10th of February. He's doing meet and greets. He's doing training sessions. There's an evening with Jon Jones as well. He's being brought here by the good people at Elite Sports Bets, and he's going to be at Invictus Mixed Martial Arts Gyms. If you want tickets, click the link in below, or just go to Eventbrite and check out the Jon Jones super fun, sexy session. It's going to be awesome. Isn't that right, Dennis?
That's right, man. Can't wait. But Rob, going back to you, Costa's such a big challenge. I wonder as well, just in general in the division, man, it's kind of interesting what's happening right now, right? Because we thought it was obviously Israel took a little break, and we thought, it was going to be Israel versus DDP. Then obviously he lost to Strickland, and it became Strickland versus DDP. And now there's this situation where you got Khamzat potentially coming back from injury soon, so he's sort of floating around. Sean Strickland obviously just lost, and we've got this DDP Israel fight that potentially might happen at UFC 300. Who knows? But sidewise, timing-wise, things could kind of work out pretty well for you, right? Like when you look at it, you're obviously not looking past Costa, but if DDP and Israel have this fight at UFC 300, especially if DDP wins, there could be a really great opportunity there to run that one back right away after Costa. Have you sort of looked at that division and the opportunity that, hey, this is actually a pretty good time to be coming back against Costa and doing this?
I haven't looked at the division and at the rankings and looked at it as closely as that. I do see that the division's moving like more than it ever has, and that it's rife with opportunity, and that's exciting. It's not only exciting for me; it's exciting for every other middleweight, because it's just, there's opportunity there to be had. But it's exciting in a sense that beating Costa opens up every door for me. It more so than usual. So I'm looking forward to really taking it and just fighting the best fight.
100%, man. I am curious though, like from your sort of expertise and sort of analytical knowledge, if it is Sean and Khamzat, how do you see that playing out?
It's hard to say, because if you get like the first 5-minute Chimaev that fought, what was his last fight? Usman. If you get that first round, Chimaev, over 3 rounds, he might beat Strickland. But if you get the Chimaev that fought Usman and, had a solid first round that slows down to 2-3, I don't know. Strickland's pretty good at keeping that tempo, keeping that pace.
Yeah, man, that's an interesting one. And I know they spend a lot of time together and training and stuff, so that's going to be a fascinating one to watch. And then obviously Israel's coming back to likely fight DDP at UFC 300. Just a little side note, man. I would have loved to see him fight Alex Pereira at 205. Like I would have loved to see. That's a rivalry there that I would have loved to see. But I know you were on Ariel Helwani's show, and when he asked you about DDP versus Adesanya, you said you felt like Dricus could possibly get it done against Israel. And that holds a lot of weight, because you've been in there with both Dricus and Israel, where most people haven't been. And you've always almost beat Israel in the rematch. I wonder, like, when people talk about that DDP Israel fight, a lot of people are favoring Israel, but what are they missing about Dricus that they're kind of not understanding, what makes you feel like he can get it done against Israel? Because Dricus's style, it's very unorthodox, and a lot of people say it plays into Israel's skill set, but I feel like they might be missing something that you're seeing here.
Yeah, no, Dricus is he's strong and tough as nails, and he's awkward as hell to fight. And he's got a really solid mentality for just pushing forward, for just wanting that win, for chasing the win. And he was the underdog in the Sean fight as well, right? And look what happened. So I think maybe Dricus is able to lead that fight a little bit and just make it awkward and dirty and messy. And maybe he wins.
It's crazy, man. There's like a lot of like marquee matchups in the middleweight division at the moment, especially with like all the shifting around. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to your fight, and then I'm also looking forward to the fact that it's on the same card as Volkanovski Topuria, your Fox Sports co-host, Alex Volkanovski. Dude, what a sick fight for the champ. I'm curious what you're expecting from this one as well.
Yeah, and Topuria really going hard, huh? With his bio, with the interviews, with everything. We haven't seen someone go so hard at Volko in a little bit.
Yeah, no, Topuria is obviously, he's full of, I don't know. He's full of energy, right? But he's a dangerous fighter. You know, he's shown that he can back it up. I think this is going to be a tough fight for Volk, but honestly, Volk's good, man. Volk is so good. People worry about him bouncing back, mate. Volk's one of the best featherweights to do it. If anyone's going to bounce back, it's going to be him. So, yeah, I'm curious to see what happens in this fight, but still, Volk's so good.
Yeah, and you know what I love about Volk is he wants to fight the best of the best. Like we've had champions in the past that are like, this guy looks like it might be a bit of work. Let me just take a little break. Volk wants to fight all the time against the very best of the best. So nothing but respect to him and best of luck. Before we wrap up, man, couple of things. First off, this fight with Paulo Costa, you mentioned you want to go in there, you want to sort of show this training camp and sort of from the get-go control the fight. In your mind, are you looking at the finish here, or are you just looking to go out there and just sort of dominate Costa? Because I know it's hard with these 3-round fights. They can just fly by pretty quickly. Before you know it, it's all over.
No, I'm looking to knock him out. That's what I've been training for the entire camp. I'm looking for violence. I've got 15 minutes to try and switch him off, and that's the objective.
That's exactly what we are. So that's very good, bro. We're both on the exact same page. Hey, just super quickly, last time we had a good chat about Alchemist extracts, obviously. Just what can fans expect from that as far as like all the great supplements and stuff?
And what's coming up, man? Because I know there was a great competition going on before when we spoke last.
Yeah, that's a tricky thing to talk on right now. It's on hiatus at the moment. Of kind of having some difficulties with some of the business partners at the moment. So we've kind of put that on the back burner at the moment. So
hey, you know what? You know what?
Might need a few petitions out there. Sounds like. No, I'm just kidding.
I know, right?
You know what, man? We are super excited to see you back. I know you wanted to get back in there for a while. Paulo Costa, what a great fight. We can't wait to watch you do it, man. At Anaheim next weekend. Guys, make sure to follow Robert Whittaker at Robert Whittaker MMA. Obviously, absolute MMA icon here in Australia, former champion. We can't wait to see you back in there, man. Congratulations on all the great stuff that, new addition to the family, the 12-year anniversary in the UFC, man. You're absolutely killing it. And we hope you have a great week leading into UFC 298. Really appreciate you joining us, man.
No, thank you again for having me.